Hey guys, remember the good old days when your single family house that you rented or your condo or townhouse that you rented was not under rent control? Remember those good old days? And for you building owners with newer buildings, remember when new buildings didn't used to be under rent control? Well, the LA City Council has just passed some ordinances that they are going to be placing some restrictions on homes, condos, and newer buildings. And you are going to have to pay an annual fee for every unit that you rent. Now, this news came to me just this last weekend from AAGLA. I'm on their newsletter list. You should be on their newsletter list as well if you're not. And I guess this was passed in September, but it wasn't brought to my attention until I saw the AAGLA email. So I'm going to read what the new ordinances are going to include. So if you have a house, townhouse, condo, or newer building, you are going to be required to pay a mandatory relocation fees to renters of up to $12,211 if the owner raises the annual rent by more than 10%, or the consumer price index CPI plus 5%, whichever's lower. So let's say that you've been renting a single family house for $2,000 a month and it's worth $5,000 a month, but you like the tenant and they've been there for a long time and blah blah blah. You know the whole story. And you decide, hey, I need to generate some more cash flow, so I'm going to raise the rent from $2,000 to $3,000. If the tenant decides to leave because of that rental increase, which is more than 10%, you are going to pay $12,211 to that tenant because they moved because you raised rents more than 10%. Now, you are also going to be restricted on evictions to specific just cause reasons only, including mandatory relocation fees for no-fault evictions to be paid by property owners to existing renters in amounts up to $27,500. You are going to be restricted on evicting tenants that have fallen behind in paying rent by at least 1 month's worth of fair market rent. So that's the threshold amount. You're restricted from asking certain questions or taking certain actions towards renters, including actions that disturb the comfort, peace, or quiet of a renter, or interfering with their use or enjoyment of the rental unit as forms of harassment with severe mandatory judgment awards. And of course, they're mandating the continued allowance of pets obtained by renters during COVID-19 without the property owner's permission. So, and of course, you're going to have to be paying, I believe it's $27.23 yearly per unit. So, they just won't stop, and they're not going to stop. Thank God we defeated Prop 33 at the polls by a huge margin, but next time they're going to try again, I'm sure. And these politicos just keep throwing haymakers at us housing providers. I'm not sure what their mentality is. I know that this is going to create a lot of jobs and create a lot of revenue for the city. Let me look at the numbers here. They're going to be creating 45 new jobs, and they're going to start this in January 1st, 2025. And again, they're recommending 27-23. LAHD proposes to scale up full implementation over 3 years. Sorry, I can't see that word today. Starting with 38 positions for the first year, 12 additional positions, and 13 additional positions for the third year, for a total of 63 positions to support the program. They are projecting to collect approximately almost $11 million in projected revenue from collecting all these fees. Now, man, if I had a single family house, You think I'd register with them and pay them fees? No, I wouldn't. But that's me. You do what you want. So this is a money grab, and this is more bureaucratic jobs for the LA Housing Department. Just, yeah. So the summary of this, it says the general manager of the LAHD requests approval to amend the just cause eviction ordinance, requiring landlords not regulated by RSO to pay an annual fee to fund and provide services necessary to administer and enforce just cause eviction protections and related ordinances. I know the city says they want to create more rental housing units, but by imposing all these rules, ordinances, regulations, inspections, skip fees, rental registration fees, providing tenants with free legal help to sue landlords, I don't think they realize they are, by imposing these actions, the city is actually taking rental units off the market. I know a woman right now, an elderly woman in her 80s with the fourplex. She has 2 vacancies, and she said, I don't want to rent them out. I don't want more tenants. The one tenant that I have now is a nightmare. I don't want more tenants. Now, she has money. She has a paid off building. She's got a very low property tax rate, of course, because she owned the building for like 40 years. And she said, Derek, why should I put more tenants in here? I don't need the money, but I certainly don't need the hassle. I would like to have the rental income so I have more spendable income, or I can save and invest more. But I don't want more tenants. I don't want the city coming in and inspecting and having to follow all these rules and regulations that hurt me. So Karen Bass, LA City Council, you people in the LAHD Housing Department, your actions are actually keeping vacant rental units off the market because the landlords don't want the hassle of renting to tenants. Now, not every landlord, but the landlords that have owned their buildings a long time, they're paid off, they have a low property tax basis, they have money, they have a paid off, their mortgage is paid off, they don't need the money and they don't need the hassle. So you guys are actually keeping vacant rental units off the market by all these actions. So I think they're going to start billing on the 1st of January 2025. I don't know how they're going to find people. I guess they're thinking people are going to volunteer. Like if you're renting a single family house, are you going to call the city and are you going to let them know, hey, I've got a single family house. I want to sign up for the rent registry program. Where do I send my check? I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know how they're going to implement it. But again, you guys with single family home rentals, man, I would raise rents now before this starts in January, because if you're more than 10% under market rent for your house or condo or townhouse, and you want to raise them to market rents, you better do that now, in my opinion, because I think it's going to start January 2025. It might have already started. I don't know. It's not very clear, but I do have a copy of this ordinance down below. Just click on the link I have, and you can look at this whole ordinance that I'm looking at right here on my screen. Plus, I've also included the other ordinances that they've recently passed, like the just cause eviction, the ordinance about pets, all that stuff. So go ahead and click the link if you like to read this stuff. Please, I would recommend you go to AAGLA.org and sign up for their newsletter. Lots of good information. Of course, I keep telling you to go to Dennis Block's Evict123 website, sign up for his newsletter. There's a lot of good information there. I don't know where this is going to end, but they're going to keep throwing stuff at us. And I know I read somewhere where they're thinking about making the maximum that you can raise rents would be 3% a year in perpetuity. And it's just getting wild out there. So you guys have to be more professional running your buildings. You have to stay abreast of all the political stuff that's happening to landlords and housing providers. Following me is one good way to stay informed. I stay on top of the politics that are happening in our city, our state, of course, the country. And I'm a good source of information to stay abreast of that stuff. AAGLA, AOA, the other apartment owners' website, Dennis Block, of course, is a good way to stay informed. And I also sign up for the LAHD website email newsletter list. So I get, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 newsletters from different sources to stay up on this stuff. And so I think at some point we are going to have to band together to come up with some solutions to this problem. I got some good ideas I'm percolating around right now and discussing with some attorneys and stuff. We'll see what happens with that. But for now, please, also, if you haven't seen my other video that I just put out, let me go to that. That video is, let's see here. That video, where did it go here? Oh, my last video is called Landlords, Stop Making This Mistake. If you haven't seen that video, you gotta watch that video. The biggest mistake I see people making right now, landlords making, are renting to the wrong tenants. We have got to be professionals now as landlords. Doing it the old-fashioned way, the way we did it 20 years ago, doesn't work anymore. The politicians have weaponized tenants and laws and ordinance against landlords. I don't know why they have such an animus against us. They think we're all rich fat cats with, millions of dollars in the bank, and it's not true. I mean, some of us are rich, but some of us are not rich, and we rely on our rental income to fund our lifestyle. So you got to be more professional. We can't do it like the old days where you could just wing it, or it's a handshake deal, or we didn't have all these rules and regulations like we do now. So we got to be more professional. We can't just wing it. You got to stay informed, follow the politics of this, and we'll get through this. So please share this video, share this email. If you know landlords that should be getting this information, send them my links to my stuff and have them sign up for my newsletter and follow me on YouTube. By the way, all my videos are on YouTube now. I'm growing that YouTube channel. It's basically youtube.com/@Derek Ruiz. The link is below. But I'm putting all my videos in one place on YouTube so you guys can be informed. I'm also doing a lot of interviews now with other professionals like CPAs and landlord attorneys. So check into my YouTube channel, sign up for that, subscribe to that, and stay informed. And as always, I'm going to keep bringing you guys important information on how to run your building, how to sell your building, the political aspects of owning real estate in California and Los Angeles. And I'm dedicated to keep bringing you this important information because we're all in this together as fellow housing providers. All right, guys, thanks for watching. This is Derek Ruiz. Talk to you all soon.